Dorothy lost her health care benefits because of a single bank deposit. She didn't do anything illegal. She wasn't trying to game the system. She just didn't know one specific rule about how her home equity could be used against her. Dorothy isn't alone. She's part of what researchers call the silver tsunami, a massive demographic shift where 10,000 baby boomers reach retirement age every single day. By 2030, all 73 million members of that generation will be 65 or older. And while many have little in traditional savings, recent data shows American seniors are sitting on a record-breaking $14.66 trillion in home equity. And Florida seniors are sitting at the heart of it. In Florida alone, where home values have surged over 60% in the last 5 years, the average senior homeowner is sitting on over $280,000 in untapped equity. That's not national money. That's Sunshine State money. And the financial industry knows exactly where it is. And if you're not a retiree, but your parents are, this video is for you too. Because you may be the one on the phone with the bank when the time comes. I'm going to show you 5 real scenarios, 3 that should break your heart, and 2 that will show you exactly what's possible. And in one of them, I'll show you how one Florida retiree protected $72,000 in investments during the market crash without selling a single share of stock. But first, you need to know what this product actually is and who it's absolutely not for. The financial industry is coming for that equity with a product that can be a strategic lifesaver or a family landmine. It's called the Home Equity Conversion Mortgage, pronounced HECM by those who work with it every day. It's the most misunderstood tool in retirement finance. Hey, I'm not a lawyer, and this is not legal advice. Remember that every state has different laws, and you must seek professional, legal, and financial counsel for your specific situation. Now, before we look at how to use a HECM, we need to be honest. This tool is not for everyone. Let's review a few places it doesn't work. The health trap. A HECM requires that the home be your primary residence. That's a federal requirement, not for Florida alone. If you or your spouse has significant health issues that may require moving to assisted living or to another home within a few years, avoid this product. The moment the home is no longer your primary residence for any reason, including a permanent move or just an absence of 12 consecutive months, the loan becomes due and payable. The 5-year rule. If you plan to move in the next 3 to 5 years, the upfront costs are too high to make the math work. The legacy goal. If your primary goal is to leave the home 100% debt-free to your heirs, a reverse mortgage is an equity depletion tool. It's not for you. Our first story, the heir's nightmare. Robert passed away suddenly. His kids knew he had a HECM, but he never explained how it worked. He left them totally in the dark. The kids spent 3 months grieving before they even looked at the mortgage. By the time they called the bank, they were shocked. They didn't know they only had 30 days to formally notify the lender of their intent. They also didn't know about the 95% rule, which would have let them keep the house for 95% of its appraised value, even if the debt was higher. Because they missed the deadlines and Robert only had a simple will, the kids were stuck in a 14-month probate battle. The bank moved forward with the foreclosure. In Florida, probate can run 12 to 18 months, even for straightforward estates. The clock on your lender's foreclosure rights does not stop. That 14-month battle Robert's kids faced, in Florida, that's not a worst-case scenario. That's just Tuesday. What could Robert have done differently? He needed to bridge the authority gap. A revocable living trust or a Ladybird deed, which Florida law specifically allows and which costs a fraction of a full probate, would have given his children immediate legal standing the day he died. Under Florida law, heirs must establish their status as a successor in interest to the servicer as quickly as possible. Don't wait. Don't grieve first. Get legal standing first. Another sad outcome. The no monthly payment trap. James and Carol retired outside of Tampa in Hillsborough County. They were thrilled to get a HECM because it eliminated their monthly mortgage payment. They felt like they could finally breathe. 3 years later, they fell behind on property taxes. They mistakenly thought no payments meant no financial responsibility to anyone. Their servicer began sending aggressive certified letters, 5 at a time, threatening foreclosure while they were still living in the home. A HECM only eliminates principal and interest payments. You are still the homeowner. You are still responsible for taxes and insurance. This is especially critical in Florida, which recently recorded one of the highest foreclosure rates in the country, 1 in every 230 housing units receiving a filing. What should James and Carol have done? On day 1, they should have requested a LESA, a life expectancy set-aside. Think of it like an escrow account where the lender pays the taxes and insurance for you automatically. And in Florida specifically, where property tax bills have climbed significantly as assessed values have surged, missing a single payment can trigger a tax certificate sale in as little as 2 years. That process can eventually lead you to losing the home entirely. Ask about a LESA on day 1. That's a non-negotiable. Let's talk about Dorothy from the beginning of the video. Dorothy and the Medicaid minefield. She needed in-home care, so she took a $50,000 lump sum draw from her HECM and put it in her savings account. Dorothy was on Medicaid. When her review came up, Medicaid saw that $50,000. Because she didn't spend it in the month she received it, it counted as a countable asset. She was instantly disqualified from her health care benefits because she exceeded the $2,000 asset limit. Dorothy should have structured her payouts as monthly 10-year payments. Under Medicaid rules, if you spend the proceeds in the same month you receive them, they generally don't count against your asset limit. Florida high-value homeowners should always know, for Medicaid eligibility, a single person's home equity is generally excluded, only up to $731,000. If your home is worth more than that, you have an exposure you may not know about. Medicaid rules are a minefield. Do not touch your equity if you are on government assistance without talking to an elder law attorney first. That's a full stop. There are 3 ways this can go terribly wrong. Stay with me because the next one is the one I promised you at the very top. This is exactly how one Florida retiree protected $72,000 in investments during a market crash without selling a single share of stock. You don't want to miss this. All right, if you've been waiting to see how this tool actually works in someone's favor, here it is. Mike, a Florida retiree, retired at 65 and opened a HECM line of credit while his home value was high. He didn't touch the money. He just let it sit and grow. 5 years later, the stock market crashed. Without that line of credit, Mike would have been forced to sell $72,000 worth of stock at the bottom of the market, a loss he likely would have never recovered from. Instead, he drew $3,000 a month from his HECM for 2 years, giving his investments time to recover. His portfolio came back. His home equity did the heavy lifting. What could Mike have done better? He could have started the HECM at 62. The unused portion of a HECM line of credit grows every month. By starting 3 years earlier, his bucket of available money would have been significantly higher when the crash happened. And for Florida retirees who are right-sizing their lifestyle, there is a related tool worth knowing. The HECM for Purchase lets you buy a new, more accessible home. Put roughly 50% down, and the HECM covers the rest with no monthly payments. If you're thinking about downsizing in Florida, ask your advisor whether this fits before you sell. Now, here's the best story, the kitchen table success. Frank lived in Naples. He sat his children down at the kitchen table before signing anything. He explained the loan, the growth feature, and the fact that the house would eventually be sold. He also set up a Ladybird deed. This is one way to instantly and safely pass property to your heirs without probate. When Frank passed, the kids had immediate legal standing. One child wanted to sell, the other wanted to keep it. Because they knew about the 6-month settlement window and the 95% rule, they didn't panic. One sibling appraised the house and refinanced it for 95% of the value to buy out the other's share. The 95% rule alone saved them an estimated $31,000 compared to what a standard forced sale scenario would have cost, and allowed them to keep it in the family. Transparency. That's what's made this work. Frank used the built-in HUD protections and Florida estate planning tools to find a solution that kept the family together and kept $31,000 in the family instead of legal fees. One important note on Ladybird deeds. They are powerful in Florida, but they must be drafted with precise enhanced life estate language. A poorly drafted deed can accidentally trigger Medicaid penalties. Always work with a Florida licensed attorney to draft your deeds. It's worth every penny. That $14 trillion in senior equity isn't going anywhere. But without a plan, neither are you. You need to be the one in control of your legacy. One last time, I am not a lawyer, and this is not legal advice. Here's your plan. Number 1, don't choose alone. Work with a financial advisor to coordinate your portfolio and make sure you aren't creating a volatility drain on your assets. Number 2, protect your taxes. Ask your counselor about a LESA on day 1, especially in Florida where a missed tax payment can trigger a certificate sale within 2 years. Number 3, the kitchen table talk. Bring your heirs into the conversation before you sign anything. They need to know about the 30-day notification clock and the 95% rule. Number 4, bridge the authority gap. Update your estate plan. In Florida, consider a Ladybird deed drafted with enhanced life estate language by a licensed attorney, or explore transfer on death deeds and revocable living trusts. And know this, Florida statutes make it a first-degree felony for anyone, family member or financial predator, to knowingly take advantage of a senior's equity exceeding $50,000. You have legal protections in this state. Use them. Dorothy didn't have any of these 4 tools in place. Do you? Hey, if this helped you navigate the wave, hit the like button and subscribe. This has been the Florida Real Estate Insider. I am still Tom McNamara. I'll see you in the next one.